Annyeonghaseyo. Hi friends, it's Deanna Williston from Our Blooming Catholic Life, and you're probably wondering by now, what really is up with all these Korean book and notebook reviews? What is going on? Well, I found out recently it's not just me who's been trying to build bridges in my local community, but in fact, a town in my state has just been named Koreatown, Maryland. And it's kind of different than most Koreatowns or Little Italies or Chinatowns. It's not a small neighborhood like a couple city blocks in a city. It's actually in the suburbs, and it's along a strip of commercial property. It probably goes back a bit. I don't know all the details yet. I do have requests in, but so it's like a 5-mile strip that has all kinds of restaurants and stores and shops. There's all kinds of things in there, and so they're trying to get people to explore it, and one of the things they've done so far is put up markers. Now, it's not those giant gates that you see in the city, because this is like a 4 or 5 lane road. So they didn't spend $1 million to put, a big gate up, but they do have them on the side of the road, and you can walk up to them on the sidewalk, and it looks like there's going to be spots where maybe they'll list all the Korean-owned stores or Korean-themed stores. Maybe there's going to be cultural notes there. Maybe they'll tell us where we can take some Korean language classes. I don't know. I just saw those put out. Doing some research, I found they were completely made in Korea and then shipped here and put up. And so they just went up like last weekend, and I didn't get a chance to look at them yet and see what is exactly on those. But it's kind of exciting. Our good friend John Bradburn, when he was in Africa, looked after, the outcast, the lowly, and he translated a lot of things into Shona for them, as well as helped a lot of them learn English. So he really built bridges with language as well as his faith. And so that's part of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn more things so that I can interact with my Catholic brothers and sisters in my own secular Franciscan fraternity. And so to that end, I'm also trying to, besides the systems you've seen my reviews on, the Billy Go system, Go Billy Korean system. It's like literally sitting next to me here somewhere. Okay, I moved it right before I started. I had to move everything this week. We have a repairman coming in. Oh, it's over there. But I'll show you. This is one of my notebooks. I'm always saying that I have a little journal notebook. It's always usually a little composition book. I started going fancy and going with those ones from Happy Planner that I could take out the pages I didn't need, but I really wasn't keeping up with it. So it's easier just to do a composition book. Some of them are just little notes to myself, like who took what part at evening prayer the night before, but some of it, I'd have to explain that. Some of it is pictures that come to me. Some of them are my evening exams, like 3 positive things, 3 ways that God's mercy worked through me that day, and 3 ways in which maybe I didn't really cooperate with God so much, but I could work on. And sometimes it's like something great I should go read. Sometimes it's homework from the book club I'm in. It could be almost anything. It could be prayer requests. And so one of the things I tried to do was I tried to use my vocabulary words from the Go Billy series that I've been writing out in these cards. I tried to use them in sentences like you would in elementary school, because I realized that the cards weren't doing it for me. It's just, that's not the best example. This is, again, how about this one? This is just a word, right? And it means uncooked rice. I'm not remembering that. Maybe I need to put pictures on them. I don't know, but I thought using them in a sentence would help. And it was recommended on actually one of the other Korean YouTube channels. I think it was Talk to Me in Korean, about using it in your journal. And so, can I cover that all really good? Do you like my little sentences there? I think it has something to do with the dog. Yeah, one of them has to do with the dog. I wrote number 1, and I wrote a number 2 next to something. Well, the number 2 is the word dog. I wonder what the first one is. I don't know. I'm wondering if it isn't verbs. Oh, and then this. Can I cover that up? Let me see if I can cover that up. Nope, everything has something written on it here. Here we go. I'll cover it up with this EWTN flyer. Just because I had some prayer requests and I'm respecting my friend's privacy. Look, I think that this means healthy, and I couldn't make a sentence, but then I wrote the word banana because I had a banana at lunch. And then, yeah, this is dog. This is two things about my dog. I don't know. That's just the word dog, so that doesn't make sense. So I wonder what the first one is. I'll have to look that up. That's longer, so I'm thinking it could be a verb. Although banana is 3 syllables, so I don't know. The other thing I was doing, you know how I talk about, like, I like to read the Bible in Latin, where I'll take a passage and then I'll sit down and break it out and try and translate it. Well, I thought, you know, why not do that with the Korean too? I can go get a YouTube video or a file that has maybe a glossary or just prayers written out in Korean, and I can sit there and try and translate them. And that should help me learn vocabulary words that are Catholic. Well, I can't find a glossary, an English-Korean glossary. Can't find a Catholic English-Korean glossary. If you have one, friends, link it in the comments below, or you can send it to me. My email address is also on the Facebook About page. But what I did find on YouTube was some videos. Now, one was just the person, sometimes it's just the person saying it, and in order to follow along, I really have to slow down the speed. If you haven't slowed down the speed on a video yet, you should be able to tap on the image, and then like when the 3 dots or more come up, click on that, and you should be able to change the speed of your video. You can speed them up as well as slow them down. But when you're trying to learn a language, you're probably going to slow it down to hear it. And so I'm still not at that stage yet because I don't know the vocabulary words. If I was just trying to memorize the prayer without learning it, I could do that though. The next kind of video I found was one that had it, same thing, they're still saying it in Korean, but they're saying it, they have the words on screen, the romanization. But we've been warned against that multiple times by multiple educators on YouTube, including Billy Go. I think Talk to Me Korean also says the same thing. Don't get used to romanization. And I could see one of the reasons why. This is the Hail Mary, but Mary's not in here at all. Or is she? Because the Korean letter, the Hangul letter, for L is the same as R, because they don't really have an R sound or an L sound. It's somewhere in between. And at the beginning of the word, it's more of an R, and at the end of the word, it's more of an L. Here it's at the middle. I'm not sure how they say it, but this person chose to romanize it as an L, so you might not recognize that it's really Maria. Again, and if you're saying it in Korean, it's somewhere in between. I can give it a try, like Maria. It's not quite, yeah, I can't get it. But then is this Nim or Nim? Because in Korean, the letter for, that's just a straight up and down, it's a vowel, and it sounds E, like a long E, but it's written out in romanization as an I. So this might be Neem, but in English, we would make that a short I, make it a Nim. So you're going to have to look at that. Romanization may not be your friend. But my idea was I wrote down this one that was in romanization, and then you can see I've already done the amens because I happen to know that one. I've memorized that one. Not very difficult. There's amen. I've already written it out in Hangul. So that's why I've left the lines. The next video only had it in Hangul, not in English or in romanization. And so I thought if I went, so maybe my next goal will then, I'll write it in English, write the romanization, and write it in Hangul. And I need the Hangul to be able to look it up in a Korean dictionary to be able to figure out what word goes with what English word. That was a long version of how I plan on studying it. But then I'll be able to have some vocabulary. Like I can now write out the word for Maria, right? For Mary, and I can put that on a card. But I know that I would probably say, these two words I know from watching the videos go together. This is like an honorific for her. Why is it an honorific? That is in a different notebook. It doesn't mean teacher, mother, I'm not sure. I think it's just an honorific for a woman. And I haven't actually studied them. I just recognize that every time they say the word for Mary, they're saying that word after it. So I know they go together. And then that can be something that I could study. If I found a Korean language partner in my fraternity or in another fraternity, I could say, like, what exactly does this mean? I know this word goes with Mary, but why? And so it's going to help me to form more intelligent questions and make a little bit better use of the awkward time when I finally do find a partner. You know, like we don't want to be there like just pointing at words or pictures, it'll help us have something to do there. Oh, right. Other ways to use sentences. You saw I really messed that one up in there. But look, I realized I do sort of have words that I could use with what I do with my dog. Oddly, I have these vocabulary words from the Learning Korean book. Does anybody know what they are? Well, this one, actually when I say this to my dog, I say it like, "Ge," and he normally looks right at me. I think it kind of sounds like a little dog barking. It is the word for dog. What about this word? Let's see. Now, see, here's a double consonant, so it's not a D sound. It's more like you're supposed to pause and then say it. So, dung. Do you hear it? Dung. It's ge dung. It's dog poo, dog dung, right? Dung sounds kind of like this one, right? And then this word, it's a verb, so it's not, I don't know that it says I do, but it's the infinitive form for to remove. So this is something I do every day. I'd rather have the word for walk, but hey, it's a start, right? I could make a sentence out of this, sort of, to remove dog poop. Your sentences in the beginning are probably going to be silly, but you can make them. Remove dog poop, and then I can say why. Why? Maybe I could come up with a word for smell, right? You can come up with sentences. Or you could say remove dog poop and make it into a question, and then you could say either yes or no. I'm just saying there's ways to try and work with the vocabulary, and that's why I've gotten stuck where I am in the Billy Go book. Like, I'm able to go pretty far, but the fact is I haven't memorized these bad boys yet. Again, I may need to just start putting flashcards, just weren't doing it. Partially because I don't have anybody to practice with. Putting a picture on the back may be helpful, or making my own little picture glossary using the words might be helpful. But I think using them in sentences and getting ready to see my friends on, not this Sunday, another Sunday, 2 Sundays from now. So I have 2 more weeks that I can study and come up with a couple sentences that I could say. I'm knowing I'm going to look completely stupid, but willing to do that. Because, hey, how else am I going to break down those walls if I don't even try? It's hard. Remember, yes, it's hard. But you can do it. We can do it. We can all do it. We can do it together. So help me in celebrating Maryland's Koreatown. Look it up. It just opened. There's all kinds of great restaurants, markets, shops, all kinds of things. You're going to want to get out and look at it yourself. But if so, find out what's the community in your community. Do you have a lot of Irish people? Do you have a lot of Germans? Do you have a lot of Swedish? Do you have a lot of people from Zimbabwe, from England? Where are the people from, and what are some fun things that you can do to learn about each other's history and culture and to grow together as truly the family of God the Father? Guess that's all. God bless you all, friends.